If anyone finds this, I want them to know what really happened. They sent me to Wendlyn to forget who I was, to break me, silence me, but fire doesn't forget. This is part 1 of my story. The exile, the training, the pain, and before I remembered what it meant to burn. Barrows was prettier than I expected, not that it mattered. The vibrant colors of the market stalls, silks, spices, laughter in the air, all blurred together like paint spilled across a memory. It was just a backdrop. Nothing mattered anymore. I wasn't here to sightsee. I wasn't even here to live. Just to ask questions I wasn't sure I wanted answers to. Maeve, the name tasted like dust, like forgotten power and thrones that weren't mine anymore. Aelin Galathynius, that girl drowned in a river 10 years ago. I wasn't her, not anymore, not ever again. They called Galen Ashriver a hero, prince, noble, beloved. He smiled like the world hadn't bled for his crown. I watched from the shadows and did nothing, because that's what ghosts do. I could have helped, could have screamed who I was, but the silence felt safer, and I was tired of screaming. The name Nehemia gave me, Elentia, spirit that cannot be broken. Now it felt like a joke, a lie wrapped in a prayer that died with her. Then he came. A shadow pulled from the bones of a battlefield. Silver hair like moonlight caught in a snare. Tattooed face. Eyes that promised nothing but war. Rowan. He didn't ask, didn't explain. Just said, "Let's go." And something inside me that had stopped caring obeyed. He didn't see Selena Sardothian. Didn't see the assassin. Didn't see the wreckage. He saw weakness, and weakness annoyed him. His silence was sharp. His presence, colder than the wind off the mountains. I didn't flinch. Didn't care enough to flinch. There were others watching, fey with long memories and longer teeth. But I was already hollow. Every step into that forest felt like I was walking backwards in time. Away from Rifthold, away from Endovier, away from her. I thought I'd buried Aelin, thought I'd burned her in the ashes of my childhood. But Wendlyn hums with magic, software, constant, like a second heartbeat. And mine is starting to listen. They said the fortress was ancient, Mistward, a halfway place between mortals and immortals, between the life I had and the one I refused to claim. It was so still, as if even the stones were holding their breath, as if it had been waiting. Rowan said it was where I'd learned to control my power. He called it a blessing. I called it exile. I think I'd rather stay in the woods, I said, but no one cared what I wanted. He didn't train me. He broke me. Day after day, in the wind and the cold. My lips split open, my body bruised and starving. Magic devoured everything, and I was always hungry, always empty. Shift, he said. Again, again, again. But I didn't know how. Had never learned, had never been allowed to. If I wanted excuses, I'd ask for them. That's what he said, before calling me a coward, before sneering like I was a child throwing a tantrum. I wanted to claw the words off his face. I hated him, truly, utterly, but a small bitter part of me understood. He wasn't here to comfort me. He was here to forge something from whatever was left of the wreckage. So he took me to the barrows, where the dead don't sleep, where the wind tastes like sorrow. There, I saw him. A beautiful man, pale, dark-haired, eyes like black voids, not human. He touched me, dragged me through memories I never wanted to see again. My parents, still and silent in their bed. Nehemia, her broken body, her last words, the light I couldn't save. My own screams, so loud I thought they'd split the world. And then something inside me snapped. The fire surged, and suddenly I was shifting. Human, fey, human again, fangs punched through, vision blurred, like a hummingbird's wings, relentless, uncontrolled. Rowan didn't move, didn't care, just watched me fall apart. "You failed," he said, as if I hadn't already known. When it ended, I was on my knees. Ashes in my mouth, power burning in my veins, but not enough to stand. I trained anyway, fought until my arms trembled, ran until my lungs tore open, burned until the world narrowed to breath, to pain, to rage, because this wasn't about mastering magic. This was about surviving it. Rowan told me I was like a well, deep but not endless, that I could burn myself out, die from my own fire. I believed him, but part of me, the part still aching for a voice in the dark, wanted to burn anyway. I thought the worst part was the fire, but it wasn't. It was remembering. Memories dragged through me like blades. The white didn't just haunt the barrows. It reached inside me and showed me what I tried to forget. My parents, their blood soaking the sheets. Nehemia, her broken body, her secrets, the darkness of Endovier, where I whispered my name just to stay alive. It was never the magic that hurt the most. It was what it tried to burn through. I said I didn't care, but it mattered, because what I'd lost still echoed in my bones. Rowan pushed harder, said pain was a teacher, said control would be the difference between life and a slow, burning death. I wanted to hate him, and I did, until I didn't. He didn't leave me, not when it counted, and I started to remember Edian's laugh, the name he gave me, Fireheart. My flames curled around me like shields, not wild, not destructive, controlled, chosen. I wasn't ready, not yet, but I was beginning to remember the girl who didn't flinch, who didn't run, who didn't break. And slowly, the fire welcomed me. There are monsters in Wendlyn, and not all of them live in caves. Some wear tattoos, some wear crowns, some carry a reflection in their eyes. Rowan took me to a frozen lake, said it was a test. A boy was chained at the center, Luca, smiling, joking, but we both knew what this was. The ice groaned beneath me, magic stirred, raw and reckless, snapping its jaws with every breath I took, and then I felt it. A presence, beneath the ice, watching, a single red eye, open, unblinking, older than my nightmares. It hadn't been a part of the plan. Even Rowan's face paled. He didn't know the lake wasn't empty. But it didn't matter. I melted the ice, burned through metal, dragged Luca free as the thing below stirred in the deep. We ran. When we made it back to shore, I was shaking. With exhaustion, with fury. I told Rowan I would kill him, and meant it. We fought. Not training, not sparring. This was rage, bare-knuckled and bloody. And then I told him about Nehemia, about the guilt, the hate, the weight of surviving. I told him I wanted to die, and he didn't flinch. He listened. Later, Emrys told me the story of the creature beneath the mountain, how it tried to consume a god and was cursed to remain, one red eye always watching. I started to wonder if it and I had something in common. Rowan told me his story next, of Lyria, his mate, pregnant, slaughtered, while he was away chasing approval from a queen who would never give it. His grief inked into his skin. The story he couldn't forget. The shame he never forgave. Two broken people, one ancient grief, one growing fire. And something inside me shifted again. Not magic, not rage, but the shape of who I was beneath all the ash. Rowan made me burn again. Not because I wanted to, because I had to. He took me to the ridge, 3 fires, 3 demands. Keep them lit, he said. And I did. Until the magic surged, until I cracked, until my body turned against me. And when I collapsed, he caught me. Then he saw them, the scars, the ones Endovier left etched into my back. He said nothing, just left. Later, he told me about Carranam, a bond older than blood, a balance of power and trust. If you're compatible, he said, your magic will answer theirs. I didn't believe him until I felt it. His wind, my fire, no longer clashing, dancing. I shaped the flame, not into weapons, but shields, walls, protection. I turned 19 the day I stopped running from my power. That night, I called him Carranam, and he said it back. Not love, not yet, but something steadier, something stronger. The next morning, I felt it, power stirrings, darkness gathering. And this time, I wasn't alone.